This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Southern Cross News. Tasmania's public health authorities are issuing a warning about an outbreak of whooping cough in Devonport and across the state. Pregnant women in particular are being urged to vaccinate to protect their vulnerable babies. And a warning, this story contains images of sick children that may distress some viewers.
This is the harsh reality of a young child with whooping cough, struggling to breathe with the telltale gasping. It's babies like this that are one of the most at-risk groups from the disease.
You can be coughing for 6 to 8 weeks, but in the most vulnerable groups, that coughing can lead to severe bouts of coughing which end in gasping or whooping or turning blue, running out of breath.
Our public health authorities today confirming an outbreak centred in Devonport but also spreading across the state. They've been notified of 239 cases so far this year, most of them since August. That compares with just 40 cases last year.
We're certainly hearing reports from schools that they're having a lot of cases amongst staff and students. So what we're seeing is that children sort of between the ages of 5 and 9 seem to be the group that are most affected by this outbreak at the moment.
It usually starts like a common cold with a runny nose, mild fever and a cough, but that cough gets worse and can cause the telltale whooping, gasping, choking and vomiting. Because newborns are most at risk, pregnant women in their 3rd trimester should get immunised.
We are doing as a government the things that we need to on advice, particularly by providing whooping cough vaccinations to pregnant women so that they can be providing a level of vaccination to the unborn child.
The government is also considering allowing more medical professionals like pharmacists to be able to deliver vaccines.
There is a lot of work that I've initiated in the department. I'll have more to say about it probably in the new year. We do want to see more vaccines being provided by more health practitioners, not just pharmacists.
As well as whooping cough, this year has been a particularly bad one for meningococcal. A total of 9 cases have been confirmed over the last few months, with a cluster in Hobart's northern suburbs.
Our vaccination rates are highest in the south, so we've hit 76% of the eligible cohort in the south, but it does drop as you go into the north and northwest, so it's around 60 to 65%.
Authorities urging Tasmanians under 21 to take up free meningococcal vaccinations. More information can be found on the Public Health website. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Witnesses have described the moment they saw a man call out for help after he was allegedly stabbed multiple times in Newnham 2 years ago. Belinda Collbran is on trial in the Launceston Supreme Court for the murder of Aaron Matthew Monaco.
It's alleged 41-year-old Aaron Monaco was fatally stabbed here in Newnham on the night of November 4, 2016. Accused Belinda Collbran has maintained her innocence. Today, jurors were shown further photos of the crime scene before neighbours gave their accounts of what happened on the evening. Witness Claire Serrato described looking out her window and seeing a man swaying in the doorway across the street. She heard him say, "Let me in, I need help, I'm dying." Witness Naomi Hodge also explained a phone call she received from her friend Nathan Smith on the night. "He rang me to tell me he and Aaron had had a fight, and that Aaron wasn't in a good way and might be in hospital." Following witness evidence, jurors were also shown taxi footage of Belinda Collbran and Nathan Smith on numerous trips made on the night of the alleged murder. The trial continues tomorrow. Sean McComish, Southern Cross News.
Environmentalists are taking aim at the state government's handling of development in the Wilderness World Heritage areas. The Wilderness Society commissioned a report critical of one proposal for a fishing camp at Lake Malbina, including helicopter access. The study suggests the flights will impact 50 square kilometres of wilderness.
One thing this highlights is that the management plan is not adequate for protecting wilderness, and the zoning scheme is meaningless, because here's a development outside the wilderness zone which is destroying wilderness inside the zone.
So we've got a very exciting development for Lake Malbina that will encourage people to come to Tasmania and where we can sensitively manage our wilderness areas, and the federal government have approved it through best processes.
Federal authorities have given the green light to the proposal. Tasmanians are being urged to help remove drugs from our streets by picking up the phone. More than 1,000 calls were made to Crime Stoppers after last year's Dob in a Dealer campaign. Police say the information has been vital to making arrests.
Dob in a Dealer usually sees an increase of about 3 to 4 times the information that we receive from members of the public. And it's definitely led to significant arrests.
Dealers themselves are the problem with drug use in Tasmania. Drug use causes death and it causes dysfunction within families and it causes huge problems within society.
Anyone with information about drug dealers can anonymously contact Crime Stoppers. Schools across the north and northwest will close for tomorrow morning as the Teachers' Union ramps up its pay row with the state government. 20 stop work meetings will see the doors stay shut at dozens of schools until 10:30. The Australian Education Union has so far refused the state government's 2% pay cap. Closures are also planned in the south of the state with stop work meetings on Wednesday. A sea of students at Kingsmeadows High School have taken a stand against domestic violence at a demonstration in Launceston this morning. Hundreds donning white to form a giant ribbon in an effort to raise awareness of the issue.
On the ground, it might be hard to gauge what all the commotion at Kingsmeadows High School was about, but from above, their message was clear.
Today we have our White Ribbon event. We're hoping to make it an annual event where we put awareness out there for White Ribbon and try and stop violence against women.
The 500-strong crowd taking a day away from the classroom for the demonstration, and with one woman a week killed in domestic violence incidents in Australia, students say action is needed.
I think it's important to get behind this cause so the awareness is out there and people do stop because it is a serious thing.
The school says tackling the issue starts with education.
The Education Department is a White Ribbon affiliated organisation and we are as a school too, and the changes around White Ribbon for us have meant certainly building an awareness amongst our students and our school community.
I think it's great that we're doing it in a high school setting because then people will grow up to know that it's not okay.
And it's hoped movements like this will help shape the views of students beyond their time at school.
It's about being respectful in all relationships and in everything that we do. So one of the things that we want to do and one of our visions for our students is to become those respectful, positive citizens being able to contribute nicely to society.
Judy Augustine, Southern Cross News.
Former Vice President of the Western Bulldogs Football Club and philanthropist Susan Alberti has told her story at a Christmas luncheon. The event raising funds for medical research, a cause which Susan says is close to her heart.
When my daughter was diagnosed back in 1981 with juvenile diabetes, there was really nothing much happening in the country. So I decided there was an absolute need to support parents and children. So I started that journey in 1981, and over that period I probably raised about $170 million.
Research funded by the Clifford Craig Foundation is based in northern Tasmania. It wasn't all that long ago that support for Tasmania's para-athletes was virtually non-existent, with many deterred from even attempting to compete. But now, thanks to a new push from Athletics Tasmania, the future is looking bright, with more young para-athletes chasing their dreams.
Just a few years ago, a young para-athlete in the state couldn't even get a national level classification into their appropriate category, forcing them to compete against able-bodied athletes.
Bit demoralising, I guess, if you're a runner, for instance, and your abilities are less than those that you're competing with, that you end up a long way behind.
But thanks to a push from Athletics Tasmania, the landscape has changed dramatically in the past 12 months, and for the first time ever, the Sports Association of Tasmanian Independent Schools recently included para-specific events into its carnivals program.
Athletes not only have the chance to compete at their own school carnival, but compete against other schools in a race just for them. Getting a lot of support now from schools who are interested in finding out more for their students.
Participation levels have increased dramatically as a result, and the state may even see two of its own represented at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, with Hobart sprinters Alexander McKillop and Com Games athlete Samuel Walker on track for selection. Athletics Tasmania is now encouraging any aspiring young para-athletes to begin forging their own path.
The pool of athletes, para-athletes in the state is so small, the opportunity for at least state level representation is really high, if not, hopefully, national level.
Tom Cooper, Southern Cross News.
The challenges of growing up in your 20s have inspired a new University of Tasmania play set to take the stage. The work, titled Lines, explores the pressures of love, identity and resilience. Today, the 6-person cast from the Forks Theatre Company tackled some pre-show nerves with rehearsals.
Hi there, Alex. Sorry, I interrupted. No, it's all good.
It follows the lives of 6 people in their early 20s during this kind of purgatory of university, of not quite being an adult but not being a child anymore, and this kind of no man's land of not much responsibility but a lot of pressure.
Alrighty, shall we?
The show opens at the Annex Theatre in Inveresk on Wednesday. A century-old book with special historical links has been found at a Tasmanian school. The book, titled The Paper Pound, was discovered at Guildford Young College. It's signed by Sir Alfred Davidson, a significant figure in Australia's economic history.
The ideas in here were something that led to Sir Alfred Davidson taking some radical decisions during the Great Depression to change the way that banks thought about value.
The book has been handed over to Westpac to go in its archives.
Back home, a new Tasmanian Tigers skipper Matthew Wade says he'll do the role for as long as is required and is adamant it won't affect his blistering form with the bat, and the side will be hoping to avoid another up and down performance when they take on the Redbacks.
The former Victorian captain says he didn't think twice about accepting the job after George Bailey stood down following a form slump.
It was driven by George, so it's not uncomfortable at all. I said whatever it takes, mate, whatever he thinks is going to make him play better. I'm happy to help him out and do this.
Despite being one of the top run scorers in the country this Sheffield Shield season, Wade was once again overlooked by national test selectors recently, but says he's past the point of caring.
It's not something that's in the forefront of my mind anymore. I just go out there and do what I do, and I've worked hard on my batting. I trust what I'm doing, and if they need me to play, I'll play.
The Tigers backed up a horror first innings collapse with a mammoth second innings total in last week's 6-wicket loss to Victoria. But Wade is confident of a more consistent showing when they take on South Australia at Blunston Arena starting tomorrow morning.
I think that's a great thing about what we're doing in Tassie cricket at the moment. We don't panic too much from innings to innings. I think that's how quick you can turn it around. 80 to a 480 without having to complicate it too much is a credit to the coaching staff and the senior players.
Tasmania's latest AFL draftees have begun life at their new clubs, with pick number 58 Fraser Turner settling in at Punt Road alongside the likes of Jack Riedwald and Dustin Martin. The Clarence product looked right at home in Richmond colours as he began his pre-season preparations, while pick number 9 Chase Jones was welcomed into the Adelaide Crows fraternity by the club's national recruiting manager Hamish Ogilvie. Pick 8 Taron Thomas is also hoping for a big pre-season at Arden Street in the hopes of being selected to play for North Melbourne in round 1 of the 2019 AFL season.
Good evening. Cloudy skies across the state today with isolated showers throughout. Hobart 17, Launceston 22, the state's high, Burnie 21 and Devonport 20. Ouse 21 today, 20 at Smithton, Lowhead, Flinders Island, Grove and Strawn all 19, 18 at St Helens and Friendly Beaches, King Island 17 along with Maria Island and 15 today at Lyawini. On the satellite sequence, extensive low cloud is seen over the state. Low cloud spiralling around a low in the Tasman Sea. High cloud can be seen over the bight associated with a front, while another front can be seen to the southeast of WA. Tomorrow, the low over the Tasman Sea will weaken as a number of low centres form along the trough over eastern Australia. A weak ridge will extend from the bight to the southwest of Tasmania, ahead of a cold front passing to the south of WA. South to southeasterly winds 10 to 20 knots, more easterly about the central north, seas 1 to 2 metres. A minor flood warning is current for the South Esk River. Tomorrow, the showers continue in the south with a shower or two in Hobart, 18. 18 also at Adventure Bay. Tarraleah also expecting showers, 17. Showers in the north tomorrow, although reasonably warm in Launceston, 21. 19 in Devonport, Bridport aiming for 18 degrees. Burnie and Marrawar, a shower or two, 19. Strawn managing to escape the showers with a partly cloudy 20. The east coast continuing the showery trend. St Helens a shower or two, 18. 17 in Swansea, White mark, an afternoon shower or two, 20. The UV is mostly very high 9s and 10s. Showers continue on Wednesday. Thursday, showers more likely across the north, and showers on Friday, mostly about the southeast and the southwest. A look at mainland temperatures now. Sunny in Perth and Alice Springs, partly cloudy in Sydney, Brisbane and Darwin, and showers for Adelaide, Canberra and Melbourne. Currently in Hobart, it's 17 and mostly cloudy, Launceston 19 and mostly cloudy, Devonport 17 and partly cloudy. And that's tonight's weather forecast, Jo.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Carmen. That's all from the team for now. We'll see you with updates a little later. Bye-bye.